Um, okay, thanks everyone for joining. It's really an honor to be speaking to the students at CASE. I am Ramana Bhavaraju. I am the founder and CEO of Encompass Business Solutions. We are a custom app development and a strategic IT consulting firm. We help businesses in solving their business problems via cutting edge technology solutions. So, our clientele includes businesses out there, SMBs, large scale organizations that are looking for IT help. Um, Case Western, I'm actually involved with Case Western through the REP program. I have a couple of MBA grads who are working as interns, really doing a great job for us during these times in terms of our sales and marketing needs that we have. So very glad to be part of the REP program. And again, going back to what I do along with my consulting business, I'm also the CTO and partner with a lot of startups in the area, involved in domains like insurance, retail, healthcare, and lots of other domains that I am also working as a partner and CTO of a lot of startups. Um, I have more than 15 to 20 years experience in the IT industry, working in various roles from a developer, senior developer, manager, architect, CTO, various CIO, and various other roles. In all the 15 years that I have been in the IT industry, my major part of my job is around two things: communication and technology. I was involved right from the beginning of my career in talking with my prospective customers, managing their expectations, to the current customers, and then stakeholders, vendor management, employees, peers. Lots of it was around communication, and about managing those expectations, be it technology or be it career or whatever. In the various roles that I was engaging myself, um, I've always felt like my job was more of a solution provider. Like everybody who comes to me, I have to say, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can provide this. Yes, I can make things work. So I always used to think that I am the yes man. And maybe I took the Yes Man movie a little too seriously, that I've become like the guy. Okay, everybody I thought would love me when I say yes to everything. Yes, I can do this. Yes, we can make those changes. Yes, we can deliver in a month. Yes, I can get you the promotion. Yes, you will get promoted. It was always that need to say yes. You know, uh, but today I want to spend some time, even for me to go back all these years and do a retrospection, and then what are the things that I have learned, where things fail when you keep saying yes, and how things can drastically go wrong when you keep saying yes to everything. So today I want to spend some time in articulating some of those lessons that I have learned in my entrepreneurship journey, and basically coming along and then seeing what is this power of no. What what, when you say no, I cannot do it, what does it mean? What is the power that comes with it? And in your entrepreneurial journey, how strong it is, yeah, it is for you to know the value of this no. So this power of saying no, right? Even though the topic today is more about entrepreneurship and then businesses and everything, but I think this power of saying no is equally valid for anybody. It's even in your personal life. I think I honestly feel that this power of saying no is really important, because the better you understand this power, the better you save your time and energy. And so I think it's very key to know what is this power of no. So today I want to spend some time in talking about the three major aspects of this power. The first one would be, why should anyone say no? The second one is when you should say no and how you should say no. These three things are the key factors that help you out in your entrepreneurship journey as you go from being a startup and you scale, or in your own professional life or in your personal life. I think these three things, if you, the better you understand these, I think it just helps you out in your overall journey. So the first aspect is the why. Why should anybody say no? I think the best way to put it out there, why it is important to say no, is because time. Time is the most valuable asset for every entrepreneur. And time doesn't mean it's just money. Time could mean it's lost opportunities. It could mean lost purpose. It could even mean lost relationships. So it's very important that you understand the value of time, so that you really see the value of why you should have to say no to certain opportunities. So understand, as an entrepreneur, right? You don't want to chase something that will only make you busy. You know, you want to see progress. It's very important to see that progress and not just have busy days in your early stages of your startup. Taking everything that comes your way will not only delay in realizing your vision, but it will kill the energy and enthusiasm of your team, which is even worse than not having work. So I think it's very important that you understand this why. Going back, right, initial days of my own entrepreneurial journey, when I look back, as a technologist, like I said, right, there was this urge to say yes. Anybody who comes to me, yes, I have to say yes. I have to get the work done. I was accepting projects that were not in my sweet spot, in my realm, pivoting the product roadmaps. When I was working with product companies, I was pivoting the roadmap to accommodate every customer, every stakeholder. And in the end, what I have found myself was I was just having busy days. I was working 15, 16 hours days for months together. But when I look back, I was making little progress. I was just going on in circles, because the pivoting of the product every day, every week, it was not really helping. But yes, are the customers happy initial days? Yes, because I was saying yes, they were super happy. But what it ended up was with negative product reviews, and I still remember my very initial customers that I took a project. I ended up giving back his check, which was the worst thing to do at that point of time for me, because I've already spent the time. I've already spent the time, money, energy, and everything. I took a project which I was never even supposed to take. But then at the end, I ended up paying back. Uh, and initially, right at that point, when I took the project, it was more from him. I was thinking I was doing a favor by accepting every challenge, but it turned out to be detrimental to the existence of my own brand, right? So honestly, I've felt that I should never say no, and then I should just take it, because that's what will keep my customers happy, my stakeholders happy. And also, I come from India, and my cultural background has not helped me, because India, it's more about respecting elders, respecting others, and everything. So it kind of, I was thinking that I was being respectful to them by saying, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can get it done on time and budget and everything. And then I was getting into areas where I should have honestly, said no. So the fact of the matter is, what has ended up is I was losing business, I was losing the brand value, and most importantly, some of my employees and partners have left me because we were drifting from our goal and the vision that we set off initially. But gladly, it happened. The first project, the one project that I was doing, it happened then, and I realized the problem very soon. And I was able to take remedial steps and started evaluating the opportunities more with a different mindset, coming from a different space. So that is the why. That is the why is you have to understand that time is crucial. So it is important that you choose opportunities that make sense for your business. So then comes, when should you say no? See, the first I feel honestly is it's never easy to say no. No matter at what stage you are in your entrepreneurship journey, saying no would be something that would be impossible. And as you keep growing in your business, that saying no comes from being a stage where, okay, it is impossible for me to say no, to a stage where it becomes your de facto response for almost most of the opportunities. Okay, I would even think that, going back now, when I look back at all the opportunities that I said no, even without looking at my financial statement, I can see the growth by looking back at how many opportunities and how big the opportunities were that I said no. I think that's the easiest way for you to also track of how big are you going, how closer are you to realizing your dreams and everything. Um, then comes, okay, the when part, right? The when should you say no? I think really becomes easy when you truly understand the mission and vision of your brand. Okay, I think it has to be ingrained. Most people start off their businesses and then, without having a clear vision or a clear mission of what you want to do out there. That is when you start accepting every opportunity coming, because you're always scared. You're always scared of, okay, if I say no, what are the repercussions, right? But I think if you really understand your mission and vision statement, I think it just gets better for you. The best way that I treat the mission and my vision statement is basically, um, the mission is the why of your business, right? Why did you even start this product? Why did you start your business? And it should tell you, your mission statement would never change. Mostly, it rarely changes, I would feel. And it tells you how you want to do it. Okay, it defines your values. It defines everything. Why do you go through this pain of going through the entrepreneurship journey? And it keeps redefining to you that, okay, this is what we have set it out to do. And once your team also understands your mission, half of your job is accomplished. So you need to be very clear as to what your mission is. Then comes the vision. Vision is the, going by the bookish definition, right? It's the desired future state, which keeps changing, right? You're like, for me as a startup, my desired future state is, okay, I want to be X dollar company, or I want to do 3 projects in this service, or we need to complete this feature. So the vision can keep changing, right? It cannot be static at all. You keep changing your vision, but you need to understand those two. Those two will define what kind of opportunities and when you can say no to an opportunity. Initially, as a startup, maybe you will be tempted to say yes to a lot of opportunities, and then you take it. But as you keep growing, you kind of see, okay, this is what the market wants, and this is what we have set it out to do, and this falls into my realm, and this is where my team is working today. So you will get that power of when to say no once you understand your mission and vision. Then comes the final thing of how. This the how part of saying no. Most people don't say no. At least in my case, I was not saying no because I did not know how to say no. I did not know, because of the adverse effects it might have on my business, my client relationships, my brand value, and even the financial position, right? So that was for me the main reason why I didn't know how to say no, which is why I was basically thinking that, okay, I need to take everything. If I say no, it will have negative repercussions. um, but interestingly, right, during the initial years of my entrepreneurship, I had my daughter. She was like 3-4 years old, going through the terrible twos, terrible threes, and everything. And she had the power, right? She was my first-hand experience on how to say no. No, I don't want to put my seatbelt. No, I don't want to eat my food. It was always that no, and it worked for her. But obviously that will not work. Crying and yelling doesn't work in business. Not with your clients, not with your employees. It never works. So it's very important to understand, how are you going to say no. I think one of the major things that I have learned in my own business is your way of knowing, your way of saying no. It keeps changing. It keeps changing from the requester and the opportunity. Who is making that request? Who is it that you are working with, and what is that opportunity in hand? No does not mean that you have to storm out of meeting rooms. No does not mean that you stop picking calls. No does not mean that you have to be the bad person, or you have to uh, burn bridges there. I kind of learned it from my own experience that it's always the no to the opportunity, never to the person. In most of the cases, at least I would say it's never to the person, but it's always no to that opportunity, right? So it's very important to understand, as you keep growing, that this how factor becomes very important, because there have been opportunities, and I will obviously say this, because I have lost opportunities also. When I look back, I will feel that I should have at least had that contact with me. There are people that I worked with where I felt like, oh, that contact would have made so much sense for me today. I shouldn't have, done this. So, I should have said it in a different way, and things like that, right? So the first thing that I would say is the how part of saying no is your no should sound like, I might not be the right one for this opportunity at this point, but let me find you someone. You know, that itself is a great answer in certain cases, right? Or the no could be, this is not my, this, for example, in cases of products, right? You will always have people, your stakeholders or somebody who is asking you, can you make this change in the product? Can we make this change, right? For those people, it can be as simple as, it's a great idea. Yes, it makes a lot of sense, but this is not in our immediate priority. We have our process. Show them your agile process or Scrum process, and say that, okay, these are our immediate priorities, and we are going to visit your changes soon. So it's things like that, and in the process of saying no, what I've also understood is you need to take the time to explain to them to why you are saying no. Okay, I think once they understand it better, once they understand that, the reason why you are saying no, it really helps them. Okay, and the other factor is always be appreciative of the opportunity, irrespective of whom you are saying it to, how you say it, when you are saying it. It's very important that you are saying no to the opportunity and not to that person. So always be appreciative of the opportunity, so that you at least have that relationship with that person. And also, one of the things, this is where my personal journey with my entrepreneurship journey kind of merges, is your friends and family members. As an entrepreneur, you will obviously attract lots of attention, from your friends and family members, and they feel that because you are their friend or family member, you will say yes to whatever they ask. So always remember, a preemptive no is an option. Always go meet with your family members or friends, and always put it up front, like, hey, have you been really working hard on something? And then let them, take a, peep into your life, in terms of that you have been busy, you've been doing these things, so that they understand that they cannot just come and then ask you to work on an opportunity because that's what they feel is helpful for them. So a preemptive no is always a great thing. So I think these are the main ones. I think will define you. And like I said, right, throughout your journey at various stages, your when and your how you do things will keep changing, especially the when factor. When you want to say no to an opportunity will keep changing. And the better you understand your mission and vision statement, I think it'll be very helpful. But having said that, what never works, a statutory warning, is never say no to your wife or your girlfriend. I don't take any responsibilities if something like that were to happen, and if things don't work out. So always, be careful with your friends and family members. Preemptive no's is really a good thing to have. Um, the last, I think we are reaching the end of this, whatever I want to share. I think one of the two major things I also wanted to share is, lots of times, when I started saying no, what I felt was people were especially the prospective customers, startup founders, they started treating me more like, okay, there is this fine line between being negative, whilst when you're saying no to most of the opportunities, right? People will start perceiving that, okay, you being negative towards a lot of things, or you are even averse to risk taking. As an entrepreneur, you don't want to come off as a person that you don't want to take any risks. So there is a very fine line. I think the most important thing that will help you is negativity or that aversion towards risk taking. That's more of an attitude problem. It's more of an ongoing attitude. While the power of saying no is about a clear stance, it's about a choice that you have made, right? So it's very important to understand that, like, okay, am I being negative, or is it my averse to risk taking? I don't want to take any risks, or is it more about, what this is, what we want to do. I think that those are the key things: the when, why, how of risk taking. I also want to end by saying one thing before I get into the networking is, this is something I read from the book of Power of No, is when you set limits, you actually set yourself free. So I think that's a very great thing to have for every entrepreneur, that set limits to everything, because that will really set you free. Okay, I will now jump to the chat session to see if there are any questions. Anyone? Any questions? Okay. I will still spend some time here. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. And okay, if you guys want to have a look, do you have tips for saying, so this is from Sunaina, do you have tips for saying no in cases where it's a person or idea opportunity that you think you might want to work with or work on later? All the time, right? Especially my role as a consulting business owner. We, like, just yesterday evening, I was talking to a person. He pitched me his idea almost a year back. At that point of time, we really wanted that project and we wanted to do it, right? But he didn't make his decision. After a year, now he came back and then he was like, okay, yes, you have to do, you want to do this or something. At this point, with the COVID and everything, yes, there is the temptation to say yes. But I think the biggest tip is this, right? You never want to put your team in a failure situation. So I think the biggest tip is, ask yourself, okay, where is your company at this point? What do you want to do? Can you really chew the entire thing? Or is it something that, hey, yes, I can do this portion, but can you adjust on the timelines? I think you have to put yourself more into a win-win situation, a win-win between you and your own team, a win-win for the client and you. You need to work it out. I think it's more about understanding what is that opportunity, what is it, what are the repercussions of losing that opportunity. And I think you have to work out on the timelines or the cost, or working it in a way that will always be a win-win situation. Okay, the next one is, have you struggled to feel regret from saying no? Initial days, yes. I was the no was never coming easily, right? And I after my initial first lessons, even when I'm saying no, I used to feel like I should not have said that no, right? I think what has really helped me out is when I spoke to my own team. When I lost an opportunity, I used to go back, talk to my team, my employees, my core team, and then I used to say that, yeah, we got this opportunity, we said no to this, and what has helped me out is their belief. They were when they also when you keep talking about your mission and vision, and when they heard it and then they heard the reasons why I said no, I think that helped a lot. And then the regret, was there a lot in the initial days. But like I said, right, when I look back, the opportunities that I kept saying no, it has helped me analyze that how fast I've grown, how sooner I was able to realize my dream. I think once you get into that habit of, okay, yes, this is my mission, this is my vision, this doesn't fall into this, or it's only going to delay me from realizing my goal, I think the regret factor becomes less. But you will always have regrets. There will always be opportunities that you will lose. Just understand that you go back, talk to your team, and then you will not regret it that much anymore. Okay. Any more questions? I think we still have maybe a couple of minutes here. It's saying time left. Oh, that is for the full session. Okay. Yeah, I think you guys have my contact information. Please reach out to me, and thanks so much for spending the time. And it's more of a retrospection for my own journey also. I'm very glad to be part of this program, and thank you all.